So, thank you, Julie Hamill, for taking the time to meet up with me today to talk about your work.
Welcome.
This is a book launch event for your final book in the trilogy.
Yes.
Are you excited?
I'm thrilled. I hope that people are going to enjoy where it nets out. I hope it's going to be a satisfactory conclusion for people.
Do you feel a bit sad about the trilogy coming to an end?
That's a great question. I mean, I don't, because I feel more a sense of accomplishment, really, having finished the book and sort of brought every character to a natural conclusion. So it's actually feels quite nice.
And obviously it's Life and Soul series, so it deals with past traumas and also how it affects present generations.
Yeah.
Is this something you experienced firsthand or observed in your life?
Yeah, I mean the two aspects of the trilogy. Life is like the working class, everyday conversations, what I would call the beautiful mundane, which is people who are talking about not very much at all, which would seem very insignificant, but actually in life is really very significant and beloved. And then there's soul, which is the people who have passed away, the loved ones who have died, and how they still live on through the story of the others that are still alive. And I have experienced that. I have experienced it twice, where I do have a lot of coincidences with two people that have died in my life that I was very close to, who send me messages to let me know they're all right. Sometimes I will have vivid dreams about them. Sometimes Robin will land and I'll know it's them. Sometimes I hear their voice in my head and I think, is that really them? And even if it isn't them, it brings me a little bit more comfort in the grief.
So would you say that that's why the launch on Halloween, around Halloween, is so significant?
Definitely. The launch of Halloween is hugely significant because that's when the Celts believed that the barrier between this world and the other world, the next world if you like, was permeable, so the souls would come back through to visit their families again.
Aww, that's really lovely. And it's lovely to hear about other cultures as well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's not enough of it in our everyday society.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of Scottishness in the book, and a lot of it's not sad. I mean, there's a lot of laughter kind of through the tears. It's sort of quite poignant, the trilogy. It's set in the 80s and 90s, so you get an idea of that sort of period as well through technology and through music. There's a soundtrack that goes with the book, so you get a good sense of if you were alive then, you can position yourself exactly.
So would you say the music is a very significant part of your creative process?
Definitely. Music is hugely significant to me because I also broadcast and work in radio as well, and music has been part of my life for as long as from the day I was born, and I just feel it brings that additional kind of fifth element to everything, where you have all your senses at work, and then you have music that makes you feel a sort of thrill inside. At least it does for me.
It elevates it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Makes you feel an extra sense of something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you talk about grief as well.
Yeah.
Would you say there was a book that you read before in your life that helped you deal with a trauma, or?
No, there hasn't actually been a book that's helped me deal with a trauma, and I wonder if writing this would sort of, I do think there was a little bit cathartic in that you pour all of your emotions into the words, and you pour your experiences into the words. So even though it's fiction, every good piece of fiction has something borrowed from your own life, and they say write about what you know. So but a lot of people who've read the first two books have come back to me and said, look, thanks very much, that really helped, and that was very, very comforting. So people are using the books to bring comfort in that sort of heavy burden of grief.
And you also run the book club at the Dublin Castle. So...
Yeah, I started the book club the year. I had to take a little break from it, from hosting it, because, well, I was writing and I was doing radio. But the book club continues. It's a really fantastic night. The Rock and Roll Book Club, so where people who have written any kind of books to do with music, so it might be an autobiography of a famous musician or singer, or it could be a biography, or it could be fiction but that contains music. And the reason why we set it up at this historic venue, the Dublin Castle, is because when I was writing, I was doing lots of very dry book events and very dry bookshops, and I just thought this doesn't really represent the rock and roll ethic of, you know, the truth in a lot of these autobiographies or biographies where there's, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll or whatever. So that if we take that idea of literature but in a music venue, and it's been a real hit. It's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Tony hosts it now. He'll be hosting tonight. Tony Gold.
Fantastic. So
Yeah.
you'll be passing on the torch.
Yes, yeah. We started it together and he's continued it, and you never know what might come back.
So what are the plans for the future?
Write another book. I've
Fantastic.
already started the synopsis of the next book, and I'll probably go back on the radio. And I'm just gonna keep writing because I'm ready to write again. There's another fertile period is coming, so I just have to follow it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for this, Julie.
Thanks for having me.
And
Thank you.
all the best for your future.
Thank you.